Welcome back everybody, my name is Nick930 and today we're taking an in-depth look at the brand new Star Wars Battlefront 2 trailer. So we're going to start off with the first frame here. It looks to be some kind of Imperial transport ship escorted by some TIE fighters near a large Star Destroyer. We know this is sometime near the original trilogy era because of the old school designs of the TIE fighters up here, but that transport shuttle looks to be a totally brand new design. There's also some dialogue throughout the trailer coming from what I believe is the lead female protagonist of this game's single-player campaign. She says, "I still remember my last orders, the day the real war began," and then eventually she'll say, "Avenge our Emperor." So based off of this alone, it's clear that we're likely going to be playing as a female stormtrooper who was at the Battle of Endor, and the campaign will bring you and possibly your squad through a series of battles that leads up to the events of the First Order from the brand new Force Awakens trilogy. It's unclear whether or not she's going to continue to side with the Empire throughout the story. She might have a change of heart and become a rebel, I don't know. But for now, all we know is that we're playing as a loyal Imperial soldier, and the campaign is going to feature completely brand new stories. Now, back to the actual footage, you can see who I believe is the woman speaking in the video here, standing on top of a large speeder of some type. The speeder kind of reminds me of that tank from Rogue One. And you can see that she's surrounded by her squad mates who all appear to be wearing black stormtrooper armor. Now at first I thought this was just shadow trooper armor. It does have some kind of red paint on the arms, and I haven't seen that before. Someone mentioned that it actually looks a lot like the Imperial pilots, so maybe we're a squad of Imperial pilots? And then there's also a little droid hanging around nearby, which will likely be some sort of comic relief character that seems to be in every Star Wars movie. You can see in this next shot a TIE fighter flying through massive debris, and it looks to be the debris from a massive Star Destroyer. You can see a huge chunk of that destroyer on the right hand side right now. And here we can see the main character wearing her flight helmet going into hyperspace, and it's likely this is the same ship we saw at the beginning of the video. And it'll show up again in the next frame, and it looks as though these characters are going to be using the ship as if it's like their own Millennium Falcon. So it's going to be with them throughout the story, I think. The next frame here showcases some epic space battles going on. A lot of people complained about the last Battlefront not having space battles. I think EA and DICE would be smart to make sure that they show off as much space battles as possible. It's hard to believe this is a video game. It really looks incredible. The next shot here, we see some more space action. We got some X-Wings attacking a Star Destroyer. It really does look like this is footage from a brand new Star Wars movie. Speaking of new Star Wars movies, this next shot looks a lot like Starkiller Base from The Force Awakens, and this is what's been convincing me that this story will connect Return of the Jedi to Force Awakens. So we're seeing right here, I think, the beginning of the New Order. The TIE Fighters still look to be the original TIE Fighters. I'm not seeing the crazy-looking black TIE Fighters. And so now we're on to the multiplayer aspect of the trailer. They're done showing off that single player, I guess. And it's important to understand that they are explicitly telling us here in the trailer that the multiplayer is where you'll be having the fight across all the eras, because it shows this line about fight multiplayer battles, and right after it finishes with across all eras. I do not think that the single player is going to bring us through the prequel, so that's just something to keep in mind. I'm thinking the story is going to be strictly from Return of the Jedi to The Force Awakens. So the first frame of the multiplayer action looks a lot like something from the first Battlefront game, or EA's Battlefront I should say. We have some AT-ATs with some stormtroopers in a firefight, and I'm convinced this is more Sullust because of all the embers and the fire effects. But my friend Sci-Fi Dan is convinced that the buildings way out there in the distance could potentially be signs that this is a much larger city-based planet that we haven't seen in the game before. It could potentially be Coruscant, or maybe even that city planet we saw get destroyed in The Force Awakens. The next shot looks a lot like the planet from The Force Awakens, so we're definitely getting some multiplayer maps on Takodana, the planet where we meet Maz Kanata, sorry. Next we see another rendition of Hoth, only this time it looks to be a sunset, which is interesting. I'm hoping this next Battlefront game will still feature the iconic main Hoth battle, and Endor of course. And obviously the big takeaway from this shot is that DICE has added the Tauntauns to Hoth, something that was oddly missing from the last one. And here's the big reveal that I'm sure everyone was most excited about, or at least I was. Here's actual footage of prequel-based content. Here we see Darth Maul in the same area from The Phantom Menace, where there's that huge Duel of the Fates showdown with Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon. And we pan back to reveal Yoda ready to use his lightsaber. So we are definitely getting some prequel content. That's going to be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to that. The movies may not have been that great, but they made for some really fun Battlefront maps. Right after this shot, we get some footage of Rey from the brand new trilogy running through what looks to be Takodana again. And the last frame shows us an impressive looking Kylo Ren that seriously looks like it was taken straight from the movie. Say what you will about EA and DICE, but they make some beautiful freaking games. And finally, we get the title Star Wars Battlefront 2, which I'm sure will confuse plenty of people in the future. And unfortunately, there's already hints at EA and DICE doing the same old DLC crap. Pre-order now to get the Star Wars The Last Jedi Heroes. So we haven't even seen The Last Jedi yet, and DICE is already trying to sucker us into giving them money for them. My guess is they give us an old Luke Skywalker and one of those Knights of Ren, since they're supposedly going to be featured in the next movie. And that basically wraps things up. Battlefront 2 is slated to release this holiday 2017, and so far it looks like DICE is on the right path with this one. Space battles will likely be part of the game at launch. We've got a full unique single-player campaign this time, a ton of variety with the multiplayer now that we have prequel content and brand new Force Awakens content along with the classic original stuff. I am a little bit concerned that there was no mention of Rogue One. That movie felt like it was built around giving DICE more ideas for their Battlefront sequel, so I'm a bit surprised not to see any content. No Scarif, none of those cool new weapons they showed us. I just hope it isn't scheduled as some DLC pack before the game even releases. So that's basically it. I hope you guys enjoyed this in-depth look at the Battlefront 2 trailer. I'm pretty excited to get my hands on it, and I have all of the original Battlefront games installed right now. I plan on doing some retrospective videos on them. And if you're interested in seeing that, make sure you subscribe to my channel, and I will see you all next time.